Welcome to BackStabbers, the only podcast where we're not just sticking needles in your back, we're talking behind it too.
Dang straight. We're 3 CRNAs by day, moms by night, and professional chaos coordinators 24/7.
We balance spinal taps and sippy cups while somehow finding time to spill the tea. And no, not into the sterile field, just behind your back.
From OR drama to toddler tantrums, we're here to share the highs, the lows, and the occasional code browns. Because whether it's anesthesia or motherhood, something always stinks.
So grab your coffee, your margarita, or whatever it takes to get you through your day.
And join us as we laugh, vent, snort, and most likely 100% possibility overshare just a little bit.
It's BackStabbers, the podcast where we put you to sleep and keep you wide awake.
Oh, okay. So oldest to youngest. Okay. Just clarify.
Yes, we'll go oldest to youngest, you heifers.
Look oldest, so.
Okay, we are actually recording. Okay, welcome to BackStabbers. Episode 1, we're off to a bang. I've already called you heifers. What could go wrong here? Let's see what happens. We'll start with who we are, what we're doing. So my name's Lacey.
We're going oldest to youngest, in
You'll
case
figure
you guys
that
are
out.
wondering.
Because the way she acts, but she's the oldest. Almost the youngest,
Yes.
not quite as young as her.
Almost the youngest. Alex is definitely the youngest with zero competition. Okay, back to me. I'm Lacey. I've been a CRNA for 7 years. I have a husband who I've been married to for 17 years, which seems like a lifetime. His name is Aaron. He is not in the healthcare industry of any sort. He has a degree in poultry science and knows a lot of weird poultry knowledge. And by happenstance, after 20 years of being together, I also now know some poultry knowledge. So if you have those questions, send them in. I'll see what I can do for you. I have 2 daughters, ages 11 and 7. And currently we're living semi-apart. I feel like I'm back in clinical because we're in the process of moving. So I'm part-time in one state and part-time in another. And we're just, surviving 1 week at a time. Let's see here. Next up, I've beat her as oldest by only 10 months, despite what she'll tell you, is Sarah. She was the class after me, is how we met. We all went to school roughly the same time. And I'll let her take it over. I think you were my little buddy in clinical.
Yes.
Is that right? I think we overlapped for 2 weeks and we were together.
She was my buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know y'all overlapped. Because Sarah, you and I overlapped.
I know. And I think, did we all wear my graduation gown?
Yes.
I forgot.
Yes.
How fun is that? It's like our own sisterhood of the traveling pants.
Mainly because I'm cheap and I was like, I'm not buying
And I'm
another
obsessed
one.
with Blake.
Yeah, that is true. I was not giving them any more of my money. I was like, I'm buying it and I will
Agreed.
give it to my friends.
That worked out
Yes.
very well for me.
Except it came up to Alex's like crotch because she's taller than us.
That is true. She is a lot
Also,
taller
in
than
high
we
school,
are.
Lacey's the shortest. I'm next. And then Alex is just a
Oh,
hair
this is
taller
out
than me.
order. Shortest to tallest.
That is.
It's like I don't feel super tall until I stand next to less than average height people.
I am very average, thank you. I am a solid 5'4". Sarah,
Okay.
to her dismay, is
I
not
was.
5'8", even though that's what her
no,
driver's
I
license
was.
said.
I am 5'8".
Sarah is a solid 5'5"-ish, maybe 5'6",
Sometimes.
maybe.
I would say 5'5" because I only know this because when she goes to church with me and she wears her stilettos and she's
Yes.
my height, they're probably at least 3-inch stilettos. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you're wearing your shoes today. I
I
can't
tell her I
talk
just need
in
to
the
test
same
the up
bubble.
there, see if it's thinner.
See,
Yeah,
see
it
what it's
smells
like
better
if it's
there.
snowing.
If it's snowing.
The guy at the DMV the last time I got my driver's license, when I turned 40, he told me I was the only person that had ever changed their height at that age. He said, "You want to change your weight?" And I was like, "No, just
Started
my
going
height."
down. You're like, I am starting
And I
to
was like,
shrink.
"Can we make up my BMI?" And he was like, "It doesn't need to go on there." And I was like, "I know, but can we make it up?" I'll lie about that.
Can we lie
Because
about
it
that
went
one too?
up immediately when I shrunk down
When
to
you
5'6"
shrunk?
and a half.
5'5" on a good day.
Okay, I am Sarah. I am the awkward They just let me into the person of the group because there's not all three equals. There's got to be somebody like we need a third one.
That's me. Don't claim my spot.
I have been a CRNA.
You're the funny one. I'm the awkward one.
What year is it? 25? This is
Yes.
your 8th year,
Brand
Lacey.
new.
This is my 7th year. Yeah.
Hot damn, it is.
So 7 years CRNA.
Yeah.
We went to school together.
Yeah.
We got buddied up, and then God bless her heart, she let me live with her, and I just have infiltrated that family like a virus.
So I feel like I'm going to interject for a second, and then you can tell more about yourself. So Sarah lived with me. Let's see, we had known each other for what, a handful of weeks, and you came. I was moving, and you were going to that clinical site. Ironically, I'd taken a job at a different hospital, and so we were going to be at the same place again, and we were excited, and we knew each other, but not like best friends by any mean, not yet. And so we had a brand new house. It was lovely. Sarah was there and helped with my children. Only 2 people that I can think of stayed in my upstairs guest bedroom.
Whoa.
It would be Sarah.
I know where this is going.
And my parents. And so I choose in this story to believe that it was you. But someone left handprints on my wall up above the bed.
I was trying to clean.
That's it.
Up.
That's it.
Okay.
I was making the bed.
Did we have conjugal visits while
we had conjugal visits with the husband? Ironically, I was not invited to the wedding. That's still sour point.
Worst spot
between us.
Okay, listen.
We weren't there yet, but we were hands on my wall.
Well,
no.
You should feel privileged. Honored.
As a student, I wasn't there yet.
I know. We weren't friends. We weren't friends yet.
Just to clarify,
when you had the wedding, that is true.
I wasn't stressed out enough, so I decided to get married in the middle. I mean, but these heifers were pregnant, so
that's true.
That's
Alex twice.
Apparently,
connection.
We have taught her how that happens now, so we're hoping it. Actually, we're hoping for one.
Yeah.
Stress relief.
Stress relief. Johnny,
yeah.
One more.
Release. Yes.
One more.
Yeah.
Real stressed. Come on, let's go.
Apparently,
I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go back to you, Sarah.
We made it more stressful than necessary.
Also true. That is true.
We're like,
yeah,
doctorate, anesthesia school, no problem.
Not hard enough.
Let's add some babies and get married.
Well, you're poor. It's a great idea. So CRNA 7 years. Graduated a year after Lacey, and pretty close to Alex too, because we're close to the same age, But me and Devin have been married. I have to look at my pictures on my phone because I usually can't remember our anniversary, but I think it's like 8-ish years. Yeah, because I think we passed the 7-year itch.
About right.
I mean, I told him the other day, I was like, yes, that would be right. This is the 8th year.
I think you got married in 2016.
And I was like, I've got
right?
so many personalities for you. Like, you cannot wander. Just pick a different one that day. I'll forget. I don't know. Like, so
I don't remember either.
We have a 5-year-old daughter, and then I have 2 bonus boys that they have unfortunately had to be around me for also a very, very long time. Jack, who is 14. Oh, I was saying. And who is 20, close to 21. But I met Lacey in school, and I actually worked with Alex when I worked in the ER. I was an ER rep for about 12 years before I went back to school. And me and Alex were friends in the ER. She was the pharmacy tech, right? That was your technical title?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Reconciliation technician.
So she walked in, and they were like, I don't know, that medicine's on. And she was like, you're on 57. She was like,
Let me call your pharmacy. I got you.
So, but yeah, that's about it. So that's all of our connections. And then Alex went to school where we did and wound up at
Alex and I both made the very poor decision of having children in anesthesia school. I only had 1.
Very poor.
You had 2.
I had to up somebody.
Yeah, you did.
I actually got an award. I was going through a box of crap the other night, and it was like, I kept, for whatever reason, different awards through school. Because who cares?
No
I
other school
mean,
does that,
because
Alex.
I need
Just so
to.
you know.
Anyway, well,
Listen, I take all
I made it
accolades.
up,
Give me
and
a
I got
trophy.
2 rubber duckies. I did. I got an
I
award
got
for the
one.
most children in
Yeah.
I
anesthesia.
got a roll of
So
tape for some reason for having the most cases. A roll of duct tape. If anybody wants to pull that
oh,
together, still don't know what that meant. And a bath
interesting.
bomb.
I don't know
They're
what that
like,
means.
we're not spending
Yeah,
money on
they got
her.
me a
We're
roll.
just gonna give her some duct tape.
A
That's in
roll
the
of flowered
drawer.
duct tape and a bath bomb because I must have been tired after all those hours.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's what all my money went
That's
to.
funny.
Duct tape.
Well, that's how I met Lacey
Yep.
because I was told I went to our director and I was just sobbing, thinking I was gonna have to like pull out of school by then I was pot committed though. I was a year in and
Mhm.
already thousands of dollars in debt. And she's like, "Oh, don't worry, Lacey's pregnant." Little did I know, you're a senior graduating. Like,
Was
didn't
still
matter.
terrible
Yeah.
timing.
Well,
Not maybe as bad as yours, but it was
not as bad.
terrible.
A close second.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, there's someone who shares this with me. And you're like passing me in the hallway one day. Like, I don't even know why you were dressed up.
I was there for interviews. We were doing
Interview.
interviews and I was in on as the senior and it was like, I think January or February. And I had Savvy, my youngest, in March. So we're talking like I am huge pregnant. There is no hiding this pregnancy. And Alex just runs up and like attacks me. I don't know who she is. I mean, I've seen her like in, big settings when we've all been together, all the different grades, but I'm a senior and in clinical. I don't know these people. She's been in didactics, hasn't started clinical yet.
And
And
Lacey didn't
so
like other
anyway, she
people.
runs up and she's like, that's also true. I am just RBF. I'm actually
No,
a
she is.
delight. Don't listen to them.
You
Just-
are.
Despite
you're
what
like
they
a-
tell you.
Once she gets to know you,
Right.
she loves a good
Right?
like
an
leg
onion, like an
wrap around.
ogre.
Once you pull off those layers, I'm really a
like-
delight. But no, so Alex runs up and like attacks me and she's like, "You're the other pregnant person." And I'm like, "My name's Lacey. Who are
should
you?"
have been like, I'm not pregnant.
You're pregnant. Thank God she was actually pregnant because that was
Oh,
really
Jesus.
ballsy on my end. And
Oh, no, I was like 8 months pregnant. I was huge pregnant. There was no denying.
anyways, so yeah. Oh, so that's how I met Lacey. And then, like Sarah said, I knew her from the ER, but then again, we weren't friends, but
Yeah.
like we were friends,
Yeah.
like work friend, like definitely could say hey to her and talk to her. Knew she was in school, knew she was thriving, and then she had gone through a clinical site and I was following her and we overlapped. And she's like, these are the people we like. These are the ones who are
We try not to
Yeah.
be with this person.
exactly.
And then I came back to that site as a real person where I got paid as a CRNA because I worked elsewhere for just a hot minute. But then I came back and was your preceptor, Alex, at that site.
Yep.
Because I think I came back in like February and you were there until like May or June
Till
or
I
whatever your
graduated.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. So it came all full circle. And then
It
like you
did.
said, I didn't even realize we all wore the same
I know,
graduation.
I
Like
forgot.
I mean, I knew I borrowed Sarah's, but I didn't really
Yeah.
realize it was
It
yours.
was mine. Yeah.
I was like,
that.
nobody's getting
Yeah,
money.
so
I'll
what
find
a
out
fun
when I
little
get
story.
out.
No, I got you. I don't know that I've let anyone wear it in a minute. I'm trying to think who else has worn it.
There's our sisterhood.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about who have been in the classes since me because now there's been so many, and we take students, SRNAs or RRNAs. They all have these different titles depending on their program, but we take them at our site, and so every 6 months we're getting a new batch. And once you've been doing that, I've been the clinical coordinator now for 5 years, 6 years. Well, if this is going to be
So
This
Yeah,
will be
something
6,
like
right?
that.
Because
I
you
think this will
took
be year
over right
6.
as I was leaving. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I've been out. I've been out for 6 years now. I've been married for 5 because Hawk is 5. Because I didn't need 1 child. I needed 2
Just
to
make sure.
confirm I was going to stay with Johnny, my husband.
lock
So-
it down.
Just got to make sure.
But then we did. We got married. We went through some highs and lows, like everybody does.
Everyone
and it's
does.
okay. I'm sure that'll come up. And I am an open book. I will share all the things to share. But we made it through some rough patches and then we have a We have a Hendrix. We have a third boy.
Yes.
So I'm a boy mom through and through.
All of your babies are precious, don't get me wrong, but there is something about little Hendo. If he ever goes missing, you should probably check my house.
Or ever bedroom.
Probably because you're blonde, and he's blonde. That's
he
the
is.
number one.
He is just such a good baby.
He's just happy.
He is a good baby.
He's so good.
He's happy.
I mean, I know why you want a fourth, because he would spoil you.
They all have, though, and that's the thing. It's like people go through their like really rough phases with babies, and they're like, "Ooh, they've been all good sleepers." Like, I've had great pregnancies, and I know some people don't, so I don't mean to be boastful in any capacity, but I was blessed with good pregnancies and easy babies. Like, they slept. I also function on less sleep than most people.
Same.
I do know that about myself.
Same.
Yeah, I know you do.
I'm like,
you'd be texting up at midnight.
Yeah, Alex and I are texting it at like 11:30, and we're like, well, I guess we should go to bed. We have to get up at 5.
See you in a couple hours. Yeah. But with that being said, yeah, they've been such good. And yes, Hendo, it's funny because he is blonde and Johnny is not. And I am clearly not. I added some blonde, and somebody asked me, "Oh, did you add that to match your baby?"
Some people wouldn't want
Does it look like you stole him?
To you? But yes, boy mom, CRNA. I don't know. I run occasionally.
Tell what Johnny does, because I don't understand his side of the world, and I do find it fascinating.
I also don't understand his side of the world. I'm like, oh, did you have a hard day? Okay. I'm just kidding. I know he has rough days. I do. Anyways, not to belittle him. So he works in business. His degree is in business, but he works for a company that overhauls helicopter engines. So the helicopter engine itself, not the helicopter, but the engine, is flown into their facility, and then they fix it or do maintenance or all the things.
And they're like one of the only ones in the country that does this certain thing, right?
They are. Their sister company is actually in Canada, and then they service engines that are, yes, stateside, and a lot of the helicopters are either old military copters or they currently are used for like fighting fires and stuff more out west. But then they contract with other countries like Central America, Japan, Middle East. So he's had some really neat interactions and traveled to several other countries regarding.
I was going to say, he went to Japan, didn't he? Wasn't there some work trip? I kind of forgot about that till you mentioned it. That's cool.
Yep, he did. And then, Central America, and then it's got, yep. So it's really interesting. And when I say it, people are like, oh, like they assume he's a mechanic. I'm like, no, he's not handy in any capacity.
The business mind behind it.
Not fix. So just the business side, but it's a very interesting, like, is it
little
niche?
No, it is.
Yeah.
And how important it is.
Niche. I think both. Yeah.
What's like,
yeah, it is
it's
kind
like
of
the
random.
underground too, though, like where they stash all the cheese and the computers and stuff that's all secret and government owned.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of secret and governmental, have you heard that theory on that house that's on the way? That huge house on the hill?
Yeah.
It's got all
house. Isn't that what it is?
Oh, yes.
I don't
like last year when y'all were like that big old mansion, and I was like, oh, I've never noticed it.
Yeah. A huge thing on the side
and now
of the
I
interstate.
break my neck to look at it, even though it hasn't changed.
To look, well, rumor has it it's like ex-CIA or some sort of special ops person who owns it, has all this underground stuff
he was
in
planning
it
for the president to come. Yes,
it's one of the backup locations, so allegedly.
But he's suing his own company that we should probably not talk about that, because I'm going to say things that I don't know. So allegedly he's suing a company he may or may not have owned. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Small town rumors that you hear.
I love a good conspiracy theory, though. So just lay it on me.
We could totally do a whole episode with you and my sister.
Oh, her sister.
Going through the conspiracies.
Sometimes, like, we have a little sister group text, and I don't even know what she's talking about.
Oh, 90% of the time, I'm just like, oh, yeah, sounds good.
No, I love it. And I'm like,
I need y'all to add me to the group secretly. I won't
I've never thought about it like that.
I want to know.
No. You can totally be in the group. We'll add you to the sister group. You're one of us.
Is in Arkansas preaching at a church. That is the main
Yeah, I forget his name, but he's I think a
He's a
Pentecostal
Pentecostal
preacher in Benton,
Mhm.
Arkansas, which one of Sarah's sisters
Yes,
lives
close.
very near. And Callie, my dog. Callie is very not happy that she won't go to this church and check him out because it is Elvis.
100%.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yes.
Girls trip.
Yes.
You know, I've never stayed at the Capitol Hotel in Little Rock, but apparently
I
it's
stayed there.
lovely.
I love it. We should do girls
You
trip.
have?
Callie stays. I mean, Little Rock's a dump, but Callie stays there
Little
a
Rock is a
lot
dump.
whenever
I
she's
would be
staying
bringing
there.
a lot.
And I guess their coffee is like divine.
Well, I wonder what roastery, whatever they're called.
It's their own.
Yeah, they have their own.
It's some special
Mhm.
blend that's only
Like
for them.
Yes.
I'm sold.
Make it.
Sold. Well, I went to a site during clinicals that was near Little Rock, and I would go close to there to study before I knew how dangerous it could be.
Awful.
I didn't know. But I went to this coffee shop, and it was the cutest little whatever. I don't know. Anyways, I am one for that. Let's go.
We can stay. Laura just moved into her new house, so we can go stay at her house. I've requested my name put over my.
It's like a hotel. I'm sure.
I'm sure.
We could all actually sleep in the gun safe.
Oh,
it is nicer
sure.
than my house.
Here for it. Let's do it.
If I sleep in her closet.
Oh, it's fancy.
I do have a confession.
Do you remember conspiracy too? What? Sorry.
No, go
Sarah,
ahead.
Your sisters, are they conspiracy theorists or no?
No, not necessarily, but they can jump on with it. Like sometimes they're like, I don't know what she's talking about, but
I think they play along with Callie, but it's mostly Callie. She takes it to a whole nother level though. Like I love a good oh, my dog is wrapped in my cord. Like I don't have children here, but somehow my dog is going to ruin this. So I'm really sorry. Hold on just a second. Luna, baby. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, it's good for us.
And she's back. I gotta shove, speaking of, I gotta shove my husband's dinner in the oven real quick. It's already baked. I did not say, my husband works in the medical field, which is, I love because we like to decompress and talk about it. Sometimes probably too much, but he just got off work. So now I'll be right back.
You have to go do wifely things. All right.
You good girl.
Obviously, we can give a disclaimer that we're not here teaching receptors and other important anesthesia things. You might hear us talk about something exciting and somewhat relevant, but mostly not.
I surprise myself when I actually come up with some reason as to why something happens. I'm like,
yeah,
pulled that out of nowhere. You're welcome.
Yeah, I always tell when we get a new batch of students, I'm like, I'm the person who gives you hands-on, applicable knowledge.
100%.
We're not going to talk receptors like that. It matters not to my.
Did I just hear the word
we're not going to talk
and
about
tricks.
I was giving while you were gone. I was giving a disclaimer that we're not teaching things here. We're not going to learn and get continuing education.
No,
we're venting and surviving together.
I mean, I can teach you things.
Maybe eventually we could do continuing education of some sort.
We might. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like stress relief. I mean, that's if you can get it for other things, surely we can get it. And we can bring up. I will say, I read an interesting thing, and by read, I mean I read the little blurb, but I read a thing that for surgeons, they're finding that if you game, you're 30% more proficient and faster. Which now with all the laparoscopic and robotic things, I totally believe.
Muscle memory, moving.
So do we have to pick up gaming?
Like straight up gaming, and they're they may look at your gaming abilities in the future for.
I know everything.
We're getting into a surgery residency.
This is going to get you nowhere, and now they're all making millions of dollars and better surgeons. So
seriously,
they were right.
Yeah,
let's also
gaming,
talk about
I guess.
The actual gamers who get money to game.
You have a friend, right, Alex?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend of mine who is a gamer.
Yeah,
and she literally, I mean, I think has made millions. Not to mention she's pretty cute and
which helps. Like if you're a chick and cute and you can game, you've.
Oh yeah, and I'm yeah. I'm proud of her.
Oh, that's awesome.
Represent. Glad to know you.
That's awesome. Maybe we could have her as a guest sometime.
Sure.
Because I feel like guests don't have to be necessarily anesthesia related.
Anybody that's interesting.
It can just be interesting. Yeah.
But back to anesthesia, we can also not only like, okay, so we're not going to give you the tips and tricks about like the receptors and the actually like molecular level of things. No. But we can help prepare you for surgeries, epidural, spinal, having a baby,
let you know what
those
to
types
expect.
of
Because
things.
some people go in just completely
to know.
Yeah.
They have no idea, and then they go through it. And I mean, you can get providers that are not forthcoming with information on what to expect. You're going to get too much information with me. But, and that way you know what to expect. So there's nothing scary, because just like in C-sections, I always tell people,
absolutely,
you're laying there being flayed open and you have no idea what to expect. But if I tell you what to expect, then you won't be as nervous. So we're happy to provide.
Or if you're trying to get into anesthesia school, we can help answer some of those questions or misconceptions or give guidance, whatever. We talked about having a section called Hey Anesthesia. And we say that jokingly. If you're in the anesthesia world, you understand. No one ever knows our names or knows who's behind the curtain. So when we're doing surgery, often, I would say probably 99% of the time, not only do we have hats on and masks on, you've also got
that guy from that Home Improvement show? The guy who never shows his face?
On Tim the Tool Man. Wilson. We're like Wilson. But you've got this giant blue drape that usually we're standing or sitting behind, watching you as the surgeon's trying to kill you. We're keeping you alive and pain-free, and asleep, unconscious, if it's a general anesthetic.
Pain-free.
And yes. And so, they don't know who's on there. They've forgotten. They're in their own little world, as we often all are. So often it's not, hey, Lacey or Alex or Sarah. It's, hey, anesthesia, bed up, bed down, whatever it is they need. It's almost always something with the bed.
What's the blood pressure?
Or are they paralyzed?
What's the blood pressure?
Yeah, what's the blood pressure?
Tell me what that means.
If it's ortho,
I will tell you what it is. And if it's low, what should I do about it? Because I'll also tell you what it is then. Otherwise, leave me alone.
Orthos, hey, what's the pressure?
Yeah.
General, hey, I think they're moving.
Yeah.
That's when you're always like, you went to medical school, right? Like, you understand what this is.
It's called a sign of life.
My favorite is macking people. Colonoscopies, EGDs.
Like they're moving. You're like, yeah, because they're still alive.
They're breathing. They're just really belly
what? They
breathing.
actually just woke up and asked me for you to be better. So I'll tell you what, I'll put them back to sleep if you get better at your job.
If this was done yet. Are they done?
Oh, that's funny. So we're hoping this will release during CRNA week, which is, what did we say, January 19th, which is Alex's birthday.
A fabulous day.
So
just a great day. And your anniversary,
and
right?
My anniversary. I've been married as long as she's been alive, so that's a fun fact.
It's true.
Not quite, but close. How old will you be, Alex?
I'll be 30.
We just made you math this, and you're still struggling. Quit acting.
That young, it's not supposed to happen.
You baby, it's fine.
I just remember when I first got hired on after I went back to where we're at. I had been somewhere else, but I was like, it's my 10-year reunion to my 21st birthday. I realized real quickly.
Yeah, you're not going to gain friends like that, Alex.
Not fond of that statement.
No. Not how you gain friends.
No. Wasn't. I thought it was funny.
Wasn't well received.
No.
Oops.
No. Just like the new general surgeon that we have just told me he was 34, and he was like, I mean, that's pretty old. I was like, yeah, it's so old.
He's older. No, he's 36.
He doesn't even know how old he is. No,
38.
he's not 38.
Nor does Alex.
He graduated when Johnny did. I asked him the same thing the other day because he was like, I'm like kind of a surgeon. I'm like,
he always loves to be like, well, you're just so much older than me.
Because of your socks. Or his socks.
Hey, I made him cool. He better never forget it.
You did. You did. The ankle socks that are in.
And I
Sarah
told him to stop wearing basketball shorts under scrubs. You're welcome. I haven't met his wife yet, but you're welcome.
But you're welcome.
You know,
I feel like we should be friends with her.
I'm going to show my millennial side because I like a no-show sock.
Love it. It depends on the shoe.
I feel like sure. The ankle or the crew sock or whatever we're supposed to be wearing now over our leggings. I did that in the 90s. It was not a good look.
So I wore it yesterday.
Why are we doing it again?
I wore a crew sock over. It made me hot and angry. I need a little
makes me hot. It does make me hot.
Ankle.
It is not slimming to my legs.
And I'll tell you what, I got pitting edema. I don't need another line. I got line.
I have long legs for my short stature. Thank you.
Sorry, Sarah. What were you
I was just talking about my pitting edema and how I didn't need another line.
Oh.
Now I got like multiple. Lots of lines. I just need to snort hydrochlorothiazide, see what happens.
Fine.
We are right at the 30-minute mark. And I do think one thing we talked about promising was keeping these at, roughly 30 minutes because you can't hide from your family much longer
Even
than
though
that.
I know y'all want to continue to listen to us because we're hilarious and so entertaining.
Lots of
so
opinions.
Entertaining. We'll see where this leads us, but we have an email, backstabberspodcast@gmail.com. So send us questions, comments, concerns. Only good things though.
Yeah.
Listen, don't judge me. I look the oldest out of everyone. I don't need to know. I don't need to talk about it.
That's true.
I know.
We support that Sarah is the oldest.
And Botox free. And you can tell.
Also Botox free. I do find it funny that the baby of the group is the Botox one.
No, I'm Botox free right now. Look,
bitch, you've done it. You might be wearing off, but you're the only one
right now
who's injected your face. It is happening though. I feel like
preventative. Okay.
Trying to act like from here up is dead has done me well, but it's not going to last forever. It's time to.
I'm too expressive.
It's time. You are, but we've talked about this. I don't think you'll like Botox.
No.
I think you'll get angry when your face can't move and you can't express how dumb you think people are.
And my kids know all my looks. I don't even have to say anything.
They need to be afraid of you.
Yeah. I did say I need my furrow brow because I need them to know when I'm not.
All right. We're going to sign off.
End of episode 1.
Signing out.
All right. Bye, Backstabbers. All right. That's a wrap on this episode of Backstabbers. We hope you laughed, learned, and probably cringed a little.
Being a working mom, a mom in medicine, a CRNA mom, it isn't always easy. But we always have each other. And we have really good stories to tell.
Just make sure y'all subscribe, leave a review, send in some questions, and follow us on social media for more knowledge-filled, unfiltered conversations.
And remember, whether it's in the OR, at home, or just in life,
Jesus wants you to be quiet.
Stabbers out.